Hello, everyone, and welcome to February and our theme of legacy for this month. This month, we're talking about all things legacy in the Carry With Me community. Taking time to think about the big things and the small things and everything in between. How do we build a legacy for our children that are no longer with us? And how do we build a legacy for ourselves? We're coming out of January, the kickoff to a new year. It often has in that momentum of coming out of the holiday season and into a new year. Even though it's another day like any other, there carries a little bit of energy with it and a fresh start. In January, we were looking at reflection and the theme of reflecting on ourselves, the world around us, taking time to connect in and think about where we've come from, think about where we are today, who we are today, and thinking about where we're going. What are the next steps forward we want to take? Being aware of those steps forward we're taking, as small or as big as they may be. Always remembering that it is not about moving on, but it is about taking steps forward. We get to carry our loves with us. We also carry with us the grief, the pain, the joy, and the love. So how do we integrate it all? Part of integration is building that legacy. And it looks different for everyone, as most things do in this space. When I think about legacy, and when we look at what other people in this space, in this community, in our lives are doing to build a legacy for themselves and for their children, we see everything from folks creating runs and walks to having these beautiful gala nights, writing stories, supporting other bereaved parents and heading down career paths in that direction. We also see others lighting a candle in memory of our child, writing a name in chalk, talking to a fellow bereaved parent one-on-one, just being honest about what we're experiencing, sharing some of the hardships, sharing some of the dark humor that comes along, and sharing some of the things that light us up or that have helped us. There are so many ways that we can build a legacy. And as you do that, I think we tap into that idea of connection once again. How do we connect with the memory of our child? How do we connect with the experience that we had? How do we connect with ourselves? You've shared beautiful ideas about going to a hospital that was looking after you or your child and taking a little care package or taking a lunch or a gift card. You've talked about sending a note to somebody that came out of the woodworks that really supported you in those first weeks and months that you weren't expecting, and sent a little note saying thank you. These are beautiful ways to create legacy. When I think about building a legacy, I reflect back on when we had Crystal Webster last year from Sharing Solace, and she had an event with us. And it's available online still, but sharing some of the beautiful moments from that, some of the great examples. Thinking about if your son or daughter would have been interested in a particular hobby or sport, or they passed away later in life and they were very passionate about something, whether it be dance or hockey, soccer or swimming, art, music, science, and making a donation in that area. So maybe donating some money or your time to participate in a local dance competition or hockey tournament. Maybe sponsoring a child to take their first lesson or donating some equipment. Ideas of collecting Band-Aids, beautiful ones in all different prints and colors and words, to donate to a local children's hospital or an area where children are going through various treatments for different illnesses. And that brings a little bit of joy to their day. Legacy can also look like conversation and keeping their love and inspiration in people's lives. So this week, I was very grateful and so touched to hear from a fellow community member and friend. She was sharing with her younger daughter about the story about Marshall and some of the losses and children that she had along the way. And her little daughter was so curious to learn more about Marshall and his life and his mom, me. And that night, it had resonated so deeply with her that when her father came home from work, she was so excited to tell him all about this little boy Marshall and his mom and his life. I wasn't there, I wasn't talking about it, and Marshall passed away 12 years ago. But his legacy lives on in conversation. It brought a tear to my eye, but a huge smile to my heart and face. We may never know all of the conversations that are being had behind closed doors or in different years of the impact that our child and our experience had on other people's lives. So as you tap into what does legacy mean for you, I invite you to take a pause here or later this month. Maybe you want to write it down or just think about it. When you think of the word legacy, what pops into your mind first when you think about your child and experience? What are some of the things you're doing and comfortable with around legacy, or some things that you're dreaming about? I also invite you to think about the legacy you are living. You are living a legacy right now. And every day and every step forward, you get to make a choice on what kind of legacy you would like to leave. Some things that are very important to me in this stage and season of my life is leaving a legacy in my community by being connected and active, getting involved in things. I'm also hugely passionate about so many areas in this space, but some that have come top of mind lately are one, changing the narrative around grief in society in general. Giving bereaved parents and myself the language to communicate what we've been through, to communicate about our child, whether it's to ourselves or others in our life. To break down the concept or the lie or the myth that grief work has to be all-consuming, that we can tap into our grief and we can work with it and we can incorporate it into our lives going forward, integrate it, not run, not hide, not pack it up, not check off a list. And inspire each other. Some of the things that we're working on behind the scenes right now in this community evolution is a place for when you come in, for those of you that are joining the community or have been a part of it and you are new to loss, a resource section for newly bereaved folks. Some tangible, simple ways to engage and support you where you're at in this period. Then we're also working on more of our inspiration toolkit, more of our joy creators, and more of our real talk around all sides of loss. For those of you that are taking steps forward, we are kind of out of that out of that fog, and we are grounding back into our lives, redefining our identity, and rediscovering what it means to integrate our grief and love in our life. Stay tuned. I can promise you that pace is something that's on my heart this year. And this is not a marathon or a finishing point. This is a starting point, and there's some beautiful things to come. So please stay tuned. Check in this month throughout to learn more about legacy and what it means to you. Stay tuned for local events coming to your area or ones that we'll be hosting online. Sending love always to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding space for me. And thank you for walking this path with me. Take care.